Hi everyone, welcome back to the training on Microsoft Azure AZ900. Now in this lecture, let us discuss about Microsoft Azure Pricing Calculator. Now, one of the tools that will become quite helpful when you're looking into the pricing of Azure services is the Azure Pricing Calculator. It's on the Azure website. If you go to azure.microsoft.com, you will see a link on along the top menu button, or you can say /pricing/calculator to get there. And you can also see that URL on the screen. And you can see almost all the resources available on the Azure, right? Add them to your cart effectively, right? Set the settings, choose your options, and Microsoft will attempt to estimate your future bill. Now, it is hard or difficult to make accurate estimates. It depends, right? It does require maybe you have some existing data from your existing data center, or you have some fairly educated guesses, but you're going to make a first attempt at this. And it's hard to say it's going to be 100% accurate. That's just the reality of that, right? For instance, when you are looking at all of the different options, you'll be presented with different regions, for instance, and then you'll see the pricing of services is different if you are in East US versus Northern Europe, the tiers of various services. So you could be in standard tier or basic tier or even premium tier. You get different performance expectations. Business critical applications are an option as well. It depends on the type of your subscription. So if you're using a pay as you go subscription versus you have an enterprise agreement, various plans of have different pricing. You can choose to purchase support, right? And you can also get development level support or premium level support. There's going to be a cost to that mentioned, which we have mentioned in the previous section of this course. If you choose the production level licenses for things, there are different licenses for dev and test. And so when you're in the pricing calculator, make sure you choose that correctly. But even when you're in production, when you're in Azure environment, making sure you have the right license is going to be affecting your cost. So once you set up your potential future environment, you have estimated the cost, right? First of all, you can save this and come back to it. It might take you several days to build up a really accurate estimate, and then you can export that and share the estimate around. So it becomes a link that you can send to people, and they can come and see what your assumptions were, how you arrived to those numbers. They can give you a feedback on that as well. Now, related to the pricing calculator is what's called the total cost of ownership or TCO calculator. Microsoft has had this view and almost always had this view that the cost of running an application is more than just the cost of the server itself. So You might see that the posted price for an Azure virtual machine is 25 cents per hour. But comparing that to the cost of running it in your own environment, it's not exactly an comparison, right? Because if you're running that machine in your own environment, you would have to pay not only for hardware, but you would have to pay for electricity, you would have to pay for cooling for that machine, internet connectivity, and landscape, so on, right? If you will just, if you are going to have 100 virtual machines, you need a place geographically to store them. There's labor when it comes to setting up them, ongoing maintenance, repairs, and things like that, and backing up those machines so that they can be restored in an emergency. All that stuff that Microsoft gives you when you are paying 25 cents an hour for virtual machine. That is the total cost. So if you go to the TCO calculator, also available in Azure menu and at this URL, which you can see below, then you'll be able to build an estimate of the cost running a solution in Azure versus the real cost of running a solution in your own environment. You'll be able to compare that, right? Again, the labor cost and the electricity cost, and see how much savings you can do. This is the kind of thing that will help you make the business case if you need to go to your executive team into management and say, hey, we should do this and we can save $100,000 over 5 years. Then they might be able to grant you the authorization, right? The budget to do that project. And so the TCO calculator is perhaps you will be your friend in that, right? That is it in this lecture where we talked about TCO, that is total cost of ownership, and pricing calculator. I hope you liked it and enjoyed. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.